coming back to school with me. We could have done it all so easily.
Hi, my name is Craig Thompson Wood. I'm the board game teacher. Thanks for coming to my games room. Today I'm looking at the Warhammer Alliance 40K game. I had a viewer ask me to show how the game is played, so that's what I'll be doing today. I'll be playing the game. Now, a quick caveat is that I've tried to disturb the pieces as little as possible, so I haven't constructed any of the pieces from the base game, and I've only just punched out one set of the materials from one of the things because I want to leave it for the students. So I am going to be using some of my own miniatures. So I have a couple plastic Space Marine Terminators here, and you won't be having Terminators, you'll be having regular Space Marines, for those who are familiar with the difference in 40K. Also you have these Poxwalker tokens. I only punched out 3 of them, but you need 3 per player, and I want to set it for a 2-player game so you see how that looks. So I've just also substituted 3 of my own Plague Bearers, which are different than Poxwalkers. But again, I want to have the materials enough ready for the game, but I don't want to be disturbing the pieces from the box set for the students. Alright, so let me take you to the table and show you how the game is played. So the mission we'll be playing today is called Crusade Mission Out of Ammo, and there's a narrative to go with it. Nurgle, the chaos god of pestilence and disease, wishes to cover the universe in plague. In his latest plot, he has dispatched Mortarion, Primarch of Deathguard, to conquer and despoil a sector of the galaxy known as Ultramar, home to 500 worlds. Ultramar is the realm of the Ultramarines and their chapter planet, Macragge. Awoken after nearly 10,000 years in stasis, Robut Gulmin, Primarch of the Ultramarines, has at last returned to counter this most desperate threat. Disease spread by the servants of Nurgle has devastated planets in this sector, but the war is not lost. An antidote has been developed for a terrible strain of pox that has ravaged an important Forge world. Robut Gulmin has tasked your Space Marines with the most important job. You must transport the medicine from the medical facility on Macragge to the Forge world. A weapons factory there has shut down due to illness, and production must start again if the Imperium is to stand a chance at repelling these invaders. Hearing of the plan, Mortarion has sent an army of Deathguard to ambush you en route to the transport. A ferocious battle ensued, and your Space Marines were victorious. Now, just a few streets lie between you and the transport that will take your warriors to the off-world evacuation site. Out of ammo, you must protect the antidote and get safely away. So as the mission narrative states, you are indeed out of ammo for this mission, and you're going to need to get these Space Marines from the point they're starting over here to their transport over here. Now these Poxwalkers, as marked by the tokens here, are going to be showing up every turn, well, not every turn, as a part of an encounter table. So you have a measuring stick here to use with your game. Pardon me, my iPad's a bit wobbly. So this is the measuring stick for inches, and so Space Marines have their stats. So you have here on page 15, they show you the statistics for it and the how things are going to work. So Space Marines can move 6 inches. They have 2 wounds. So they're going to move their 6 according to their thing. Using the ruler, you then move the piece. You can then advance, and you advance according to how much you roll on the dice. But before you do that, they have here the turn order. So a Space Marine turn order is you're going to roll a dice and look at the encounter table. So there's an encounter table. It's on the far side over there. I can't quite reach it right now. Move and advance the Space Marines, and if they end the turn touching the Primaris Repulsor, which is the tank over here, then they are removed from the game. And then they're also carrying antidote tokens. These antidote tokens are what the Space Marines are trying to get to the thing. And then the Poxwalkers just really need to touch them. If they touch them, they kill the antidote. And once they kill the antidote, then they can start to kill the Marine. When a Space Marine doesn't have any antidote left, every time they're touched by a Poxwalker, they lose 1 wound. Okay, and then you get victory points based on a 2-player game. With the best we could hope for is 7 to 8 victory points. You're getting 1 victory point for each Space Marine to make it safely to the ship, and 1 victory point for each antidote token. So yeah, so each Space Marine is carrying 3 antidote tokens, and so that's going to you're trying to save as many of those antidote tokens as you can as you make it to the thing. All right. So here's the encounter card, which is going to be at the start of every Space Marine turn. You're going to roll this. So you're going to do a Space Marine turn, a Poxwalker turn, Space Marine turn, Poxwalker turn, and so on. And there's also a first player token. So if you are playing with more than one person, you can note down. You can sort of show who is the first player. That will rotate each turn. But as it's just me, so I'm going to roll the dice for the encounter, and I roll a 6. And 6 says, the Emperor's righteous purpose inspires you. Double your movement this characteristic this turn. So my movement characteristic, as shown on page 15 here, is 6. So I can now move 12. So this guy is going to go 6 and 6. I then get to advance. I advance 4. So he is right on the verge of that, of getting out. Okay, and now I do a Poxwalker turn, but there are no Poxwalkers on the board. They come out as part of the encounters here, so the Space Marines have almost made it out. The next guy is going to go, so he rolls a dice, and his encounter thing is a 2. And so 2 says, a cloud of flies obscures your view. You may not advance this turn. So now, remember, advance is different from movement, so he still gets to move his 6, but he's not going to... so it's front of the base to front of the base. That's why I'm not moving him front to back. That gives him like an extra inch. So he is only able to move and not advance. So just for the thing too, these are sort of shipping containers. These are considered terrain. You cannot walk through these. You cannot see through these, and you cannot. These are sewer grates. These are where the Poxwalkers are going to be coming out. The encounter thing says so. As the mission states, they're out of ammo, so there's no shooting in this game. So back to the first Marine now. He's right on the verge of getting into the repulsor. Roll the dice, 6. Yeah, he's very righteous. So he gets in there and he's done. And the next guy goes, and yeah, he's going to make it in as well because he goes 12 and advances. So that's it. The game is over and the Marines have won. But let's try that one more time and see if we have a different result, because that was very easy for the Marines. We didn't even see a single Poxwalker. So let's just see. So the Marine goes and we roll a 3. This time a Poxwalker appears from the closest sewer grate. Okay, so there we have it now. So now we're getting a Poxwalker out. So you put a Poxwalker token at the nearest sewer grate to him, and he's just going to have to try and get around that thing now. So he's going to go 60 here, and then he's going to advance. He's going to advance 3. So he's going to advance 3. Whoops. So we'll go here. Okay. And then the Poxwalker turn, so he's going to advance to the closest Marine. Now Poxwalkers, it shows on their token here, so if I can get it in focus, it shows here they have a movement of 4 and 1 wound. Not that the 1 wound matters, because they don't have any. So he's going to come here, and he's going to make the Marine lose 1 antidote token. So 1 antidote token has now been lost. And now the next Marine is going to go, and he's going to roll a 2. So he's unable to advance this turn, but he's just going to try and get as far forward as he can. Not much you can do about that 1 Poxwalker when you're out of ammo. You can't even punch them, I suppose. There's no hand-to-hand combat even. And so now we go back to the first Marine. And, well, actually, I guess if we're playing properly, this Marine would go first this turn. So this one's going to go now because you switched the first player token. So this one went first last time, so this one should go first this time. So he gets a 5, and 5 says, a transmission from your captain motivates you. Roll 2 dice and pick the highest to advance. So he's going to go... He's going to go, let's see, 3 to here, and then 3 to here. And you're allowed to break up your movement like that. You're allowed to obviously going else. You don't always have to go in a straight line. And I'm rolling 2 dice and picking the highest, so he's going to advance 5 inches to there, so he's almost at the vehicle. And then the Poxwalker is taking out an antidote from the other guy again, so he's continuing to corrupt the antidotes, because remember, it's a Poxwalker turn. He's the only one on the board, so he's just going to continue to affect the Marine with the who is closest. And now the other Marine's going to go, and he rolls a 6, so he gets to double advance, so he runs straight onto the thing. And then this Marine goes, and he rolls a 2, so he's unable to advance this turn, but he doesn't need to, he just goes on. Oh, so he was here. So the Poxwalker would go 4, doesn't quite reach him, and then he's on. There you go. So now that we've had a chance to look at this game and play it through, what are my thoughts on it in terms of its introduction into Games Workshop? I mean, I love the fact that Games Workshop is trying to get involved with schools and do these kinds of things and put this kind of package together, supplying things to get the kids started with the painting, the reading, things like that. But as a game, I mean, this is completely lackluster. It's all just roll and move. There's none of the strategy. There's none of the intrigue and stuff of the putting a list together and trying to figure out what works well together and things like that. There's none of the combat. I mean, it's just roll a dice and move in an encounter table. A lot of the things, if you were going to play 40K this and then try and go into 40K, you'd find that they're completely different things. There's nothing in here which even resembles 40K. The encounter table, the random encounter table, does not happen. Roll and move, I mean, there is some of that with the advancing and such in 40K, but there would be some kind of combat, even a close combat. I mean, I understand for a school situation that you're trying to downplay the combat, but you're really kind of not giving a true sense of what Warhammer 40,000 is about. And if you're going to do it, I'd say just do it. If you're going to have a Warhammer 40K game and try and just do the schools, just accept the fact that there's going to be combat. I mean, a lot of games have combat. A lot of games, like even chess. Chess is combat. Chess is a war game. So really lackluster as a game and giving a very poor impression of what Warhammer is about. So I think Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000 are great for learning. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, like I was saying, the math that's involved, the reading that's involved, and just so much in there, and so much encouraging of people to continually learn as they read new books and codexes, as they read all the lore and history in the Warhammer world, which is there is so much of, as they continue to play and develop lists and add up lists and things. There's just so much math and learning that will be happening on a continual basis. And I think Warhammer 40,000 are fantastic for students, but this is really not. This is going to give a very bad impression that if I thought this is what Warhammer is about, and I know how expensive it is, I'm not going to want to pay that much money to play this kind of game. So, I just don't think that this is something that I would really be recommending to Games Workshop. And if Games Workshop wanted to talk to me about this kind of thing and come up with some better ideas of how to promote the game to schools, I'd be happy to help you. But this is not it. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. Make sure you tune in next time where I look at the Age of Sigmar version that comes with this box set of the Warhammer Alliance. And if you have any other requests for games you might like to see me play on the channel, or maybe games you might like me to review for use in classroom or home for educational purposes, please leave me a message in the comment section below. And while you're down there, please remember to hit like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Craig Thompson with the Board Game Teacher saying thanks for coming to the classroom.
Are you coming back to school?